Bang, right guys, welcome back to the podcast. This episode is all about money. I believe money is one of the most important things to get right in your life, in your business as well. You know, your money is pivotal to where you're going to get to in life. It's so important. You can't look after your friends, your family without money. You have to have really good levels of money and income into your life, into your business, so that you can make really good decisions. And I think it's fucked up in the UK that the whole culture of the UK especially is built around not talking about money, that it's something that's a taboo topic. You shouldn't chat to it about, with your friends and family. It's certainly not a topic that gets brought up around a dinner table. And I think most people hide and shy away from talking about money because they haven't got enough of it, or because they're on the breadline, or because they're in debt, or because, they just haven't got the resources available to them, or they haven't built, should I say, the resources that you need to have really good levels of money. So this episode is all about money. It's totally fucking cool to talk about money. I think money should be talked about a hell of a lot more. So my goal with this episode is to talk through the different levels of money, to give you a game plan and a solid view of right, what level are you at right now, and what's the next level for you to get to in terms of your finances and money for you. Because look, I say this, and I have this episode coming out to you guys coming from a place of someone that grew up with nothing. Someone that grew up in a council estate where everything was on tick, didn't have a lot of money. The windows were the single pane windows with water on the insides. It was just getting by life. That's the life I grew up with. And that's what I know. That's my roots, if you like. And I know what it's like to have no money. I know what it's like to not being able to pay staff. I know what it's like to have cash flow issues in a business. I know those stresses. I've been there, I've done it, I've got the t-shirt. And now I'm in a position, I'm in a place where I'm financially free. So I've done the journey that I'm going to talk you guys through. But there is another level going to get to, which is the level that I'm chasing, which I'll explain in this podcast. But what I'm saying is that I'm on a fucking level, I'm not giving out hints, tips, trainings, podcasts, whatever you like, without having done the walk and done the journey myself, because I know exactly what it's fucking like to have no money. That stress and that burden is fucking horrible. It is the biggest stressor in life, is financial stress, without a doubt. Like, if you've got shit going on, but you've got money in the bank, you can solve problems, you can get help, you've got options. Whereas when you've got no money, you are sort of helpless, and it's a shit place to be in. So you have to get your money right. Money is pivotal to everything you want to do. And the people that say it's not all about money, they're just chatting complete bullshit. It's justification why you haven't got enough money. And it's just a narrative, a fucking storyline that people are brought up with, that, well, yeah, it's okay, and you make excuses, and it's not important, money doesn't grow on trees, all sorts of bullshit statements, which is just fucking wank from people that have never had money. Because life is a lot easier with money. Life is a lot more enjoyable with money, and I've experienced both, so I know full well that it's a much nicer place to be when you've got money and you've got cash in the hip, okay? So if you don't get your money right, you've got to look and go, well, worst case scenario, what happens if you don't actually get your money right? If you don't get financial security and get really good levels of income and assets in your life, what's going to happen? Well, you can guarantee what's going to happen is you're going to retire at an age determined by the government. You're going to sacrifice and not have a life that you enjoy. You are going to have to live off what the government give you, basically, and deal with whatever shit is thrown your way. And when the time comes and you reach older age, you're gonna have to deal with this shit that's available in terms of healthcare, in terms of going into a fucking home, or any bullshit like that, which just scares the fucking life out of me. That's never ever going to happen to me or my family, because I've done the work and I'm still doing the work to build financial resilience so that you're in full control of your life. And I think that is the most important thing. I think when people talk about money, they view it as just spending it on shit. Whereas actually, when it's going to come down to it, there is going to come a day when we all reach a point where we're going to need help, we're going to need retirement, we're going to need healthcare, we're going to need whatever we're going to need. Money is what's going to allow you to have a better quality of life when it's all said and done. So I think it's very important to look at it that way. That worst case scenario, what's the worst case scenario? Living on the breadline when you're 75 and you can't afford the heating bill, that would be an absolute fucking shambles. And really basically just a waste of life. Again, what the fuck have you done your whole life to end up in that position? So I think that's the worst case that you can get to. But flip that, in best case, if you get your money right and you get in control of it, you get your head switched onto, right, money is the priority. We have to get the money right. You're going to be able to grow stuff. You're going to be able to have choices. You're going to be able to have investments that come in and pay you money. which the whole thing of passive income is not strictly true. You know, there's no such thing as completely passive income, but certainly there is a way of having incomes coming in where you don't have to work your balls off and grind every day and earn a day's money for just the input that you do and the output that you do of physical work. So, this is all the stuff that's going to pay for nice stuff for your kids, whether that's private schools, nicer holidays, nicer opportunities, setting up business for your kids, whatever it is. And equally for you, nicer choices, being able to enjoy the finer things in life. Who the fuck doesn't want finer things in life? Anyone who says they don't is chatting complete bullshit. Everyone wants nicer things. Whatever you're into, there is an entry level, there is a mid level, and there is a high level. Doesn't matter what your habits are, what your hobbies are, what you enjoy out of life. For one person it's cars, for the next person it's watches, for the next person it's fucking horses. Whatever you're into, there is a cost attached to being and enjoying and experience the best of that. So the more money you get in your life, the better levels you're going to appreciate and enjoy, regardless of what it is for you that you enjoy and what you want out of your life. Everything's got a cost. The costs are only ever going to go up as well. Money is only going to go up. Things are only going to get more expensive. They never go down. So it's on you, and it's fully it's on your shoulders to earn more, to build more, so that you can enjoy more as you go. If you sit there all the time moaning about the cost of living, the cost of expenses, you're just being a victim and you're being a hostage to the situation that it is. And the facts of life are, things always increase in costs. Stuff always goes up. Inflation is a very real thing. Property is always going to go up in price. So you've got to earn more. You just got to accept that and get on with it. So the way that I've laid out this podcast, because I do take notes, I do a rough view on the podcast before I get talking. And I was thinking about this morning in the gym. I absolutely smashed myself in the gym this morning thinking about, right, what am I going to do for this episode of the podcast to go out? And I think it's really easy to look at stuff in terms of levels. And this is the way that was taught to me. It's something that I learned a long time ago, probably 20 years ago now, of the different levels of money and the way to view it. So level 1 of money is financial security. So you are literally secure. You can pay all your bills, but you've got nothing left over. You are literally surviving. You're secure, but it's a survival mode that the bills come in, the bills get paid, nothing's left over at the end of the month, nothing is racking up in savings, and you're just surviving. And obviously just below this level, there's the element of consumer debt, which you need to remove consumer debt before you look at any types of investments or growing a business. If you've got consumer debt, which is bad debt, your only goal in your life now is to get rid of that debt. You need to just clear that bad debt that's accruing high interest rates. And it's not only that, it's hanging around your neck like a fucking absolute heavy baggage sitting on you that you're in consumer debt. If you've got consumer debt for stuff that's just bullshit, like clothes, holidays, watches, whatever it might be, cars, or just shit that you don't need, consumer debt just sits there and just compounds and gets bigger and bigger, and you're just paying stupid levels of interest on that. So you need to remove that to get to the first level of money, which is financial security. Because if you're just paying your bills and you're just surviving, but you've got consumer debt, you're just in the red every single month. And this is the line that gets messed up, is that there is good debt and bad debt. And bad debt is consumer debt. It's buying shit, it's buying clothes on high interest credit cards. It's buying stuff that you can't afford on credit cards because you're trying to impress people. You think you deserve it. But let this be a lesson to you on this episode. I'm going to be very blunt. You don't fucking deserve it if you haven't got the money to afford it. Sorry, that's just the facts of life. It's a reality. If you are having to put consumer debt on credit cards, you are not earning enough and you're being fucking irresponsible with your money. So get that fucking clearing out of your head. You need to cut all that shit away now. You should not be spending money on anything that's not essential. If it's not essential, you should not be wasting your money on it if you don't have the fucking money coming in to afford it. That's what I'm going to say on that. So that level of financial security, you are just, whatever your bills are, if you've got £5 grand a month coming in, you've got £5 grand a month coming out, you're secure because you've got enough money to cover the bills and live a, just a basic entry level of life. But if something happens, you're very much not secure. If you don't get paid 1 month, you're fucked because you've got nothing left. So it's a very loose level, financial security, that first level, just bills being paid, is quite a dangerous place to be in. And 90% of people live hand to mouth. And that is why people always blame and moan about stuff and moan about cost of living, because you've not moved through the levels. So you need to get to the next level. And this should be your only goal. If you're someone who's financially secure and you're just surviving at the moment, you need to have your eyes and your goals focused purely on getting to level 2, which is financially healthy. Now, financially healthy is the next level up, but it basically means you are paying all the bills, everything's covered, but you've also got the money, the spare disposable income to do a few nice things. You can go on holidays, you can go to restaurants without looking at the bill so much. You can afford to just do stuff a little bit off the cuff. You know, you're financially in a healthy position. We're not even talking about anything about investing yet. You're just in a position where you don't have to check the bank every single month. You don't have to check the bank for every single decision you make. You can spend 200 quid here, 500 quid there, 600 quid there, you know, book a holiday without really having to think about it. That's a financially healthy position to be in. And that is level 2 to the money game. Level 3, the next run up on the ladder, is financial independence. So financial independence is where you've got maybe multiple sources of income. You've got a lot of disposable income. You don't rely on one income source, and you pretty much live how you want. You know, you're independent. You know, no one can really tell you you can't do this, you can't do that. You're pretty much in a great place where you make your own mind up, you do what you want when you want, and you've got investments paying you a return on investment, which that investment might be a business vehicle, by the way. Your biggest investment for a long time will just be your business. If you're reinvesting back into the business so it pays you more out. I think a lot of people jump too quick trying to invest in other asset classes when you should be building a business to get to the point where you just got really good financial independence. You've got a really good free flow of cash coming in all the time because you're reinvesting back into that asset, which is the business you've built, that's going to kick out more cash. So that financial independence is a nice place to be. The problem with independence is you can reach a level of comfort zone as you take your foot off the gas because you're not up against it. You know, when you need money, when you're level 1 and you're surviving, you will do whatever it fucking takes to earn money because you've got to pay the bills. Whereas when you reach financial independence level 3, you can get a bit comfortable and get a bit ego driven. This happens to a lot of people. You can get just a bit too arrogant of that you've figured things out, but you know, and it starts stopping you and pausing you, and you start getting to a level of like you need to be doing more. And some people sit at this gap and never progress on. You get to the financial independence stage, comfort zones kick in again, and you stop growing the business, you stop investing money, and you just start increasing your expenses. And what happens is you end up becoming, it's what's known as like the middle class trap, where you're financially independent. You reach a stage where you've got plenty of cash coming in and you're doing well for yourself, but then you start increasing your expenses. You buy a nicer car, you buy a nicer house, and then you end up becoming back to just being in financially secure again, where the money coming in is all going out again. And it's just that trap of, well, who's better off? Because if you've got one person who earns $5,000 a month and they spend out $5,000 a month, financially secure, but then there's another level when you reach financial independence, level 3, when you increase all your expenses, and let's say you've got to a point where you're earning $30,000 a month, but you've got $30,000 a month going out because you've upped your expenses. You're not really any better off than the person at level 1 of financial security. You've gone back to financial security because you're leveling out your expenses versus your income. And don't get me wrong, you're gonna have a nicer, better life getting 30 grand in and spending 30 grand versus getting 5 grand in and spending 5 grand. But you are no better off because if something happens and you've got all those expenses coming in and your income takes a hit, you're going to be fucked and you're going to be going into the red again. So you've got to be very careful of not going and falling back into that middle class trap of just increasing income and increasing expenses, because you're in a fallacy in a world of you're just not actually progressing anywhere because you've not got leftover income to invest more and make more, to then invest more and make more, and then you keep going up on that escalator, up and up and up, and it never stops. So that's level 3, that's financial independence. Number 4 is financial freedom. Now this is the one where you can live the life that you lead today without having to work again. So you're free, no one's got any reins on you, no one's got to tell you what you've got to do at all. You've got enough money behind you and enough money coming in from investments that they're reasonably passive. Like I say, there is no such thing as passive. You've still got to manage those investments. If you've got properties, you've still got to manage the tenants. You've still got to manage maintenance, refurb, you've got to manage the agent, whatever. And obviously the more properties you've got, that becomes more of a bigger job and becomes more of a full-time thing when there's shit going on all the time. Financial freedom is a great place to be, and it's where most people just stop the game. They dead stop the game at financial freedom, because you're living a life you've got, you're very happy with that life. You don't need to work again, and you just stop. Which, fair play, horses for courses is whatever is unique to each different person and what levels you want to get to. But it is level 4 out of the 5 available levels that you can get to. And that's quite a nice place to be in that life. And you've got to do a lot. You've got to get a lot of money behind you. You've got to invest a lot of money to be able to have that income coming in when you're completely financially free. That level feels amazing, but the level above, level 5, which is the level that I'm chasing, is the fuck you money level. The level of fuck you, I do what I want when I want, and I don't care what it costs, and I can just basically do exactly what I want whenever. Like, there's no restrictions, 0 restrictions. And the gap between level 4 financial freedom and level 5 fuck you money is massive. It is massive because you need so much money coming in and so much opportunities coming in to be able to do what you want when you want. Because when you think about that, what you want when you want, no limits. There's some big expensive stuff that you could do that you need so much money coming in for that. To be able to have real fuck you money and real choices and real just total, I literally do what I want when I want. The gap is huge because you can burn through money so quick. You can go on 100 grand holidays. You can go on private jets. You can go on helicopters. You can buy helicopters. You can buy houses all over the world. All of these different things. You can spend money so quick. Money is the easiest thing in the world to spend. So to have fuck you money to get to that level, the gap's huge. Now, the gap's not actually that big from the first 4 levels, from getting financially security to then getting a bit more that you've got a bit more freedom, to then financially independent and investing the money, investing back in the business, to then level 4 financial freedom where you don't have to work again and you've got enough money coming in from all those investments that you're totally free. You don't need to work ever again. They're quite, logical, and there's a certain steps you can take to get to those each different levels. You just go from one level to the next, and they're quite attainable. But once you get to level 4 and you're trying to get to level 5, it just needs so much more fucking fuel. Like, it's such a bigger jump to be able to confidently say, I've got fuck you money, I'll do whatever I want when I want, and I can literally do stupid shit, just crazy shit, like just go and buy another car, drop a hat without even thinking about it, go and buy another watch without even thinking about it, and drop in stupid, silly amounts of money. But also the thing to think about is that when you reach financial fuck you money, you're not going to be burning through all your money, because the lessons you learn from levels 2, 3, 4 is that you have to invest more than you earn. So to really have proper fuck you money, you've got to be in a position where you can spend a hell of a lot of money, but you're actually investing just as much or more as well. So it's building it, so you need double the money, if that makes sense. So it's that big jump is just fucking huge, and it's just, for me, I always want to be moving forward and getting to that next level, and that next level, that fuck you money, it's going to take me a long time. It's going to take me a hell of a long time. It's going to take me a lot longer than the first 4 levels it took. But getting to level 5 is what lights me up in the morning and makes me want to go, fuck me, let's go after this, let's do it. I'm going after it 100%. That's the level that I want to get to. And it's not for everyone, and I totally get it. It's totally cool, different things for different people. But I just think if you're here for one, you've got one life, you've got one shot, give it everything you've absolutely got. Why would you not? I just don't see why you would be a part-timer and not go all out in it. And this is the difference between an entrepreneur's mind and a business mind of, it's a sport you can play for your whole life. It's a sport you never have to retire from. It's not something that you want to stop. When you work in a job and you've got people that, most people just work in their job and that's what they do. It's a 9-to-5 mentality, and they're just, their whole life is mapped out, right? Well, I'll do this job. I'll then get a pay rise and take the next career move, and I might earn an extra 10 grand a year if I'm lucky. Then I get to retirement age and I'll fucking live off 900 quid a month state pension, then I'll get a 500 quid company pension, and that's the whole life mapped out. Entrepreneurship is a completely different sport. The sport it's a sport you never have to retire from. It's not like being an athlete or someone that's got to perform physically when there's a lifespan on that. Most athletes are done mid-30s, they're done. They've got to earn their money so early on. And this is why a lot of athletes end up going skint and going to booze and alcohol, because they've lost their money-making skill. Their money-making skill has been taken away from them. Age is not on their side. You reach early 30s, you can't perform as best you can. And if you don't then go into other things, such as business, they go backwards because they've lost their money making ability. Whereas entrepreneurship is, you're typically going to have the first 10 years you're learning, you're falling into that barrel full of tits and coming up sucking your thumb. You're making all your mistakes, you're learning, you're doing the things wrong, you're working out what works, what doesn't work. You're likely to have that 10-year journey. And even after that, you're still learning all the time. You never stop learning. But my point is, you do the 10 years bulk, figure out what works, what doesn't, and then you can just keep going forever. You don't retire from it. It's a sport you can just keep doing until the day you die. And that's something that I will do. I will never stop working. Why the fuck would I want to just put my feet up and do nothing? Because the sport of business and making money is the most fun you'll ever have in your life. It's the funnest thing to ever do. And it becomes even nicer when you don't have to have it. And this is the difference with, I think, smart investing and getting to the point of fuck you money, is that you're making investment decisions based on realities and facts. Whereas when people are trying to make investment decisions on, I need this to work, I need to earn this money, you don't make good decisions. Whereas when you go through the levels, you reach another level of safety, security, confidence, and it allows you to make even better decisions because, like I say, you just don't ever stop learning. I'm still learning every day now. I still make fucking mistakes every day. It's just a constant thing, but that's the fun of the sport. It's that constant pursuit of changing and chasing, and just trying to get to the next level the whole time. And I think if you're listening to this and you're going, right, well, I'm at level 1, you just got to go to the next level. Don't look at fuck you money when you're at level 1 because it's just impossible to look at. It's impossible to reach at. I did not look at that when I started out, learning about money and business and getting away from level 1 will actually consume a debt. I used to have it. I used to make poor decisions because that's what my family did. Everything was on tick, everything was on credit. That's what I learned. It was the wrong fucking lessons. Once you get to financial security, you just need to look at being financially healthy. Just looking at level 2, then to level 3, then to level 4. So whatever level you're on, just set your goal as being at the next level. That next level of what I've listed out through here today, the 5 different levels: financial security, financially healthy, financially independence, financially freedom. And if you've got the big balls for it and you want to go after it, you go for the fuck you money, the biggest level that you can actually possibly attain. And for the other side of the camp, maybe you've got a bit too comfortable. Maybe you've got in a financially healthy position and you haven't got enough fire behind you to move forward to that next level. Maybe this would be that wake-up call that there's a lot more that you can do. There's a lot more out there, and money is not short in this world. There is no shortage of money in this world. There's no shortage of opportunity in this world. But it comes to those who really want to go after it and set a plan and do what is required to get after each level. And you just don't stop, and you're resilient enough to go through the no's, the setbacks, the fuck ups, and you just keep pushing forward. That, there's just not a shortage of money. You go anywhere now, everyone's saying in the news and the papers, financial crisis, cost of living crisis. You go into Mayfair on a Saturday night and you see how much money's about. You see how many cars are outside. You see how many shops are about. How many people are buzzing about spending money, not even people with lots of money, but just going to London now. If me and my wife go to London now, it's a grand a day. It's just a grand to go there for the day. Train tickets, lunch out, dinner out, hotel. You're doing it easily a grand, just on, not even going stupid, £1,000. And there's people doing that. There's hundreds and hundreds, there's millions of people in London doing that every weekend, every day of the week. It's everywhere. Go to an airport, everyone's flying, everyone's still going on holidays, everyone's still buying new cars. Go into the jewellers, you're still going up buy watches. Go anywhere, there is money fucking everywhere. It's just absolutely everywhere. It is not a scarce thing whatsoever. It is there, but you just got to get the skills of, one, personal skills of managing your money and being strict on the levels that you're trying to get to as a person that I've talked about in this, but also as a business sense of marketing your business in the right way, being really good at the sales, getting the business in, getting the delivery in, but then investing back into the business as that asset class so it pumps you out more money, and you keep going on that fucking journey of just keep going, right, growing money, not spending money, not wasting money, growing money, building it. And then do that for 5 or 10 years and you can be in a fucking amazing position and an amazing place and really break through those levels. And that's really what it's all about, guys. I learned this a long time ago, probably 20 years ago I learned this. So if you've not heard of this stuff before, you've not heard of these money levels, I hope it helps you, and I hope it's like the spark for you to go, fucking hell, I need to do more. I need to be doing more. And this is just like the mantra that I live by all the time, is that I need to be doing more. Even when I've done a really fucking solid period of work, I'll always just go back into default mode. I need to be doing more because I want to get to a level. I want to get to level 5. That is what I'm going after. So for you guys, you just got to do more. You've got to do more. You can do more. You've got to give up the excuses, the bullshit excuses of watching TV at night saying you're busy and you haven't got the time. Whenever you say you haven't got the time or you haven't got the resources, part of being an entrepreneur is being resourceful. You don't need money to be a good entrepreneur. You need people skills, communication skills, and resourcefulness. A really good entrepreneur makes things happen without the money. And actually, I think the best entrepreneurs, the best business people, make things happen without using money to do that because they're resourceful. Because you can only spend money once. Once it's gone, it's gone. Unless you're investing in it, it's going to come back to you in another form. But if you always rely on money, and if you've always got the attitude of that you need money to make more money, you're always going to trap yourself and limit yourself on what you can do. The best deal makers are the people that make stuff happen from nothing and turn it and make really good deals by being really clever and really smart with your money. So if you've got excuses around money, you've got hang-ups around money, you are basically just wired, and you're wired fucked up in a fucked up way. The money is out there, the opportunities are out there. You've got to be the person that creates opportunities, makes opportunities, or follows through with your word. And that is the most important thing in entrepreneurship, is that you do what you say you're going to do for people. You do the right things, and that's what's going to allow you to go up those different money levels and really progress in your life. So I hope this has woken you up. I hope this makes you fucking realise you can do a lot more. And really, guys, if you like this episode, all I ask is, look, pay the fee and just share it. If you like it, you really appreciated it and you've got some value from it, share, like, subscribe, all the stuff on YouTube. It's on YouTube, it's on Apple, it's on fucking the shit one for people that have non-Apple phones, which I just don't get. It's everywhere. Please share it and like it, because it just helps to grow the page and grow the awareness of the podcast and what I'm doing. So that's it on money. I hope that's been useful. Let me know if that's woken you up. Drop me a DM on Instagram at Dean Barton Real, and I'll see you on the next one.